Okay. Ms. Cassanelli, you will have to either hold the camera or move over to the side. We are not fastening cameras, chairs. Ms. Cassanelli. Ms. Cassanelli. Move the camera. It's attached to a chair. Off to the side or hold it. If you don't play by the rules, you don't play the game at all. You will not be allowed to testify if you do not go by the rules.
This is Dale Matthews. Here's a video insert of Sandi Cassanelli at this meeting and her 2-inch camera so you can see how she used a tiny clamp on a chair. There's no danger and no rules about using a clamp.
Mr. Matthews?
Dale Matthews, France Pass. So earlier in this meeting, the chair, Cherryl Walker, insisted that Sandi Cassanelli was breaking the rules and not playing some kind of game. Sandi Cassanelli does not have a handheld camera. She does not have a tripod-mounted camera. She does not have a floor stand camera. She is not breaking the rules. The rules state, floor stand or tripod-mounted audio or video recording devices, cameras, and microphones may be located only in the rear area or on the side aisle of the meeting venue. Hers is not a floor stand. It is not a handheld. It is not a tripod mounted. It's mounted with a little clamp on the back of a chair. Her camera's about this size. The original idea behind these ridiculous rules is that it might break the fire laws. Of course, we now find out that's entirely false. The other rule is that, well, maybe it will impede someone's ability to see. This is ridiculous. It's about half the height of her body. Well, it might be dangerous to people that would be running by and trip over Sandi and chairs and anybody that's that has that many problems walking through an aisle. Darwinism comes into effect. Look, she is not breaking any rule. And so how is it that our county government decides, and true if you sit there and say nothing while this is happening, that she is breaking some kind of rule? She is not breaking a rule. So what's the basis for this decision that since she's not going to play a game, that she can't be allowed to speak? It's abuse of power. We're Americans. We will not tolerate this kind of thing. Now, if we have to carry it all the way through to a recall, we will definitely do that. But meanwhile, she can't speak because of someone's fit, because somebody has got some kind of mood. It's ridiculous. It's against your own rules that you passed. They're ridiculous rules to begin with. So, there's nothing in the rules, I carry them with me now, that says that she is violating anything. And as for speaking up, and why didn't I speak up last time, there is a rule that we're not supposed to speak. When you address us in the audience, we cannot, by your ridiculous rules, we can't reply. So when you say, well, what are you going to do? What do you expect her to do? She's supposed to obey the rules. You're the ones breaking the rules. I'm not even going to say thank you.
No applause.
Dale Matthews, Grants Pass. City Council will be happy to hear that you're a bastion of sanity when it comes to people speaking and being allowed to videotape, and I've been doing this for, almost a decade now, and never run into problems except recently at county commissioners meetings. It just turns out simply by coincidence that the two main people that are asking for a recall of Commissioner Cherryl Walker are the two people that are getting hassled the most about cameras and how dangerous they can be to people who might be trying to escape a burning building. So there's a bunch of new rules that have been written up about staying safe and about where cameras can be and where they can't be. An example is Sandi Cassanelli brought with her this tiny little camera that I've showed you before. She brought it to today's meeting. And she had it attached to her chair by a clamp. Now there was some controversy at this meeting about a clamp versus a tripod, because there's rules against tripods. The rules say that if you have a tripod, you have to place it in a certain place, or a floor stand. Now, just so everybody can tell, this is a clamp. This big thing here, this is a tripod. Clamp, tripod. It's easy for me to see what the difference is. Very difficult for our county commissioners to tell the difference between these two things. This attaches to a chair, for example. This stands on the floor, basically. So, because there's rules about tripods, suddenly, in order to be able to control what's happening with this camera, this is now designated as a tripod. It doesn't have the 3 legs that we were talking about. It doesn't look anything like this. But see, since this is regulated and this is not, this is now called a tripod. It's pretty ridiculous. And it's pretty transparent. But as one further illustration, I thought I'd point out to you, you don't have this problem, but we do over there, that this is my elbow, this is my posterior. That's a tripod. This was a clamp. This is Shinola. These are the new rules. Any questions? Thank you very much.
Pretty good use of props.